everyone. Very good evening, all of you, and thank you for joining the session. So, you all know every week, Saturday, right? We are discussing some of the useful informations about AWS real projects. This is really going to help many of us in terms of attending the interview. In that series, right? Today, we are going to discuss about project number 6. So far, thanks for all your cooperation. We were able to complete 5 projects. Okay, today is going to be a live class for project number 6. So everyone know the rules. People, though some of them I can see the new names. People who join new, right? Guys, here every week we'll discuss the project. This is totally for free of cost. Addition to that, whatever the project we are discussing here, right? You can anytime interrupt me and ask for your questions and doubt. There is no problem with that. If you have any general doubt about your career or previous project, whatever, end of the session, right? We have a parking lot. So ask your question over there. We can get it clarified. I'll answer all your general questions and doubts. We can conclude our session. Okay, that is about the rule. People, if anybody unnecessarily making a noise, right? Please keep it mute yourself. The persons who are attending this session through YouTube, if you want to attend the live, right? In this video description, I provided my channel, WhatsApp channel and WhatsApp group link. Just to click on that, join. Every Saturday, you can also attend the session for free of cost. Okay. So with that note, let me get started. So we are from High Tech Institution. We provide this, useful content to people. So let me zoom today's content. Okay. Let me make 150. Yes, this is going to be the action plan for today. Okay. So top 5 AWS Lambda automation for cost optimization, security, and resource management. So this is the intention and this is the project. We cannot call this as a project, but however, if you go for any interview, the person can ask you a question. The person can place you a question. This is the most common question. What are all the Lambda automation you have implemented in your project? That could be one of the question. Or what are all the different automations you are having in your project? What is the benefit of it? What is the use of it? Like that, the question may come in every interview. So by attending today's project training, right, you are going to come top 5 Lambda automation, which all basically we will set up in every project because this automations we are going to implement it using Lambda service. Okay. So I got a request from many people, not only explaining theory, along with the theory, they asked me to explain some practical sessions as well. Today I have come up with my AWS account. I'm going to show you some of things as practical. Okay, so if you take any AWS account, there will be a service called Lambda. Okay, what is the use of this Lambda? First of all, what is the benefit of this Lambda? How this is going to helpful for all of us? Basically, this Lambda is one of the serverless service offered by AWS. One of the cheap service, I would say, when in terms of cost. Okay, cheap service in the sense it's very much affordable. When in terms of costing, right, this is very much easy and very much low in terms of monthly billing. So here in terms of using Lambda, we don't need to manage any physical server or nothing. If you have the code ready, you can create one Lambda automations. We can deploy our code. We can start run. We do not need to manage any backend hardware, networking, processing capacity, memory, nothing. That is the reason, right? We are calling it as a serverless service. Okay, this is the most popular serverless service in every project if you go. In fact, I can tell you in another word, if you go for any project, you can simply see a project without Lambda. It's very hard nowadays. Okay, you cannot see that. So in that Lambda function, right, I told there will be top 5 automations, right? So if you go to the function, each and everything, right, we are calling it as a function only. As you can see here, Lambda can support many languages. Okay, it could be Python, it could be Node.js, it could be Java. Like it support many languages. If you go there, each and every automations, right, we will create a functions. Okay, we'll provide some function name. So I am giving you the several top 5 automations references. Here we'll create the function name. Here if we go, we would be able to see many supported languages. Right, you can see here. Okay, if you have a code ready, you can deploy it. All right. Today, end of the session, I have some set of Python code which I worked in my career. I have around 12 plus years of career experience in AWS. Whatever the Lambda automation, mostly I prefer to go with Python since I'm a Python expert. All the automation what I worked, all of them belongs to Python. I can.
All-rounder बनाए का batsman का bowler.
This kind of background noise, right? What we will do, we'll remove that candidate if that comes again. Fine. So, so this way, right? We are going to create a lots of Lambda functions in the live account, live project. So today objective is leverage AWS Lambda to automate key infrastructure management tasks, including starting EC2 instance for weekend cost saving, cleaning up unused EBS volume, triggering encryption for set of resources, rotating IAM keys for enhanced security, and tagging the resources. Okay, so basically using Lambda, right? Whatever the activity we are doing manually, those things can be automated. Why? What is the problem if you continue to do manual? If you take any AWS infrastructure, if you take any project, right, there will be many resources will be running. Initial days of time, there will be limited resources. Day by day, right? You may have the lots of EC2 instances will be running, lots of EBS volume you would have created, lots of snapshots, lots of RDS database servers, lots of IAM key you would have created for your application connectivity and purposes, authentication purposes. Day by day, right? Your resources count will keep grow. Okay, in that case, right? If you have this Lambda automation in place, okay, in that case, if you have a Lambda automation in place, this will be really, really helpful. This will take care of the manual work. Okay, so what are all the key area we can implement this Lambda function? That is what we are going to talk in this today's session. Here I'm having a 5 examples, 5 automation, mandatory automation. If you go any project, right, most probably this automation will be there. Okay, those are easy to instant stop and start for cost saving. In the weekend, right, we'll be going to work on start the easy to instances. Unused EBS volume cleanup, that is one of the automation. Even based encryption for EBS snapshot. So we are going to apply the encryption for the resources. IAM key, access key rotation. If you have any access key secret key, every 60 days, right, you need to rotate it. That's mandatory. That we are going to see. Auto tagging the AWS standard resources. If you are creating any resources without tag, it will go and apply the tag. Okay, so I'll go deep dive and I'll explain all these 5 key automations. This is the architecture diagram also we are going to see. Now, addition to that, in practical, I'm going to show you how the Lambda functions are being created and how to do that. And addition to that, the event-based trigger. Okay, from the cloud trial, we have an option to set up a trigger for our Lambda function. How that steps works. Okay, how can we create an event-based trigger? All those things I'll show you today. That is the practical part. Okay, end of the session, right? I'll be completing with the source code, whatever I have, whatever I worked in my project, right? I'll share some of the source code. Okay. Yeah, that's it pretty much. All right. So anyone has any doubt on what topic we're going to discuss? Any questions so far? My intention is if you go any interview, so if interviewer are asking you like, what are the major automation you worked on, you aware of, this 5 automation will be your bullet points. Okay. Like you need to explain them, these 5 automation, that will be more than enough. Okay, to clear the interview. That is my intention. So none of you having any questions here? All right, looks good, everyone. Cool. So maybe we can get it started. I'm getting some chat response. So Malikarjun, he said no. Okay, so cool. Let's get started with the Lambda automations. First one, okay, EC2 instance, stop and start for cost saving. If you go any EC2 instance and automations, right? So basically, if you go any infrastructure, automatically stopping the instance, okay, during the weekends and non-business hours to reduce the cost. Restart them during optional hours using Lambda scheduled events. In Lambda, right, there are 2 kind of automations we can do. One is scheduled event. Scheduled event means right example is this automation only. Example, what they are trying to say in AWS account, imagine we have hundreds of EC2 instances available. During the weekend, we are not going to use that EC2 instance. Means the set of EC2 instance, we are not going to use it in the case. What we can do, Friday around 8 p.m., we can run our Lambda to shut down all the servers, which means stop all the EC2 servers. Monday, probably by the 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. in the morning, right? We can run the Lambda functions to start those EC2 instances. By stopping Saturday and Sunday, will involve lots of cost saving to you. Will involve lots of cost savings to you. That is the one benefit I would say. All right. So in that way, right? These kind of Friday 8 p.m., Monday 8 a.m., these are something called as schedule. These are something called as a schedule. So the Lambda function, what you have, right? The Lambda function, what you have, you can have a two type of trigger. First type of trigger is Lambda event based and schedules. Okay. In this particular schedule, right, it will trigger that. There are second thing I would say that's something called event-based trigger. Okay, I'll talk about the event-based trigger before going to the event-based trigger, right? Let me show you some insight about Lambda schedule. Okay, so creating Lambda would be very much simple, guys. Creating Lambda would be very much simple. You can provide any name, automation for stop and start EC2 instances. Okay, as I said, I will be mostly prefer to go with Python, so I'm going with the Python one. So I'm going to create a role. I already have some, admin role, Lambda admin role. In IAM, you have to create the role. Okay, the role should be having the permission to stop or start whatever the permission you need to perform in this Lambda, right? You must have it. Let me create the function. Okay, once you created the function, right, it will be looks like that only. Your Lambda will be looks like that only. Here we need to add the tag. Here we need to add the tag. Okay, how can we add it? So there is something called event. There is another service available in AWS. So you can go to this rules. Here there are various rules can be configured. Okay, let me click on create rule for now. There are so many rules are available already. So let me click on create one rule. So rule name, right? We can go with any name like a Lambda trigger. EC2 start stop. Here I can provide anything. Okay, this rule with an event pattern. Okay, this is something event based trigger. We'll come to this point later, but schedule right now we'll go with the schedule. So continue to create rule. So if you go there, right here, you can set up some cron. Okay, cron in the sense, right? You must be knowing the scheduler. Okay, cron in the sense you must be knowing there is a scheduler. So in cron, right, if you want more information, you can click on info. So this will take you further more information basically. Okay. Uh, so whatever the doubts you have, right, please do not post it in the chat because chat will not appear because I'm sharing my full screen, right? Whatever you can unmute and ask. That is the reason I allowed people for asking question. If you put it in chat, sometime there's a chances I may miss. So coming to the cron, right? Here that definition.
Sir,
Yeah.
Hari, can you show me the IAM roles of the Lambda admin?
You
What
want
are the roles you assign to Lambda admin?
only one role I assigned so far. I'll show you that. Okay.
Yeah,
Number of
okay, sure.
we don't want to apply many roles at all. Only one role will be enough for the Lambda. I'll show you. So coming to the cron, right? In that cron, we have to specify Friday 8 p.m. Monday around 8 a.m. Those things, right? We have to specify. Okay. Here, if you go right, we can specify which minute I don't have any issue. So let me put it like 0. Which hours somewhere around, um, basically, right? If you want more information about cron, you never worked with the cron in the sense, right? You can search here. AWS cron. If you go to the AWS documentation, they would have provided the explanation about each and every condition, basically. I think this is not the right site. Let me refer another documentation. If you click this itself will come. Usually for browser open a new tab will come, but here it's not coming, but here I'll give. So here you go. Runs, the cron expression. This is the example they have given cron 0 minutes and hours. 13, so 8 p.m., right? So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, around 27 day of month. So I can put star over here because every day it's supposed to run, every month it's supposed to run, week somewhere around, right? I can mention like Friday. Here also you can put star. As soon as you put star, right, this is the proper statement. If your cron is correct, you will see the next 10 trigger date here. If that is not coming, right, you can change it to question mark somewhere here. Okay, so instantly it will appear. So you can see next Friday, 11th of October, next availability is 11th of October, 18th of October, around 8 p.m., right? It going to trigger. Okay, like that, you can configure the trigger. Okay, you need to refer this example. You need to refer this example. If you're exactly not sure what expression you need to follow here means, you can simply refer ChatGPT also, that or Google also, it will give you the information. Okay, so right now you are seeing zeros minute. Okay, 20th is hours, 24 hours calculation you need to do. Day of month. If you're not sure which day of month you need to trigger, put a star or question mark. Month also put star or question mark. Which day of week? Friday is supposed to trigger. So I have done like that. Okay. So like that, you need to create the trigger for that. You can click on next. Okay. Now you can assign to AWS service. I wants to access this to Lambda function. You should be able to see our function name. Okay. Automation. Easy to stop and start like that, right? We have configured, right? So click on next. Once you select your Lambda function, click on next. Next. You should be able to see the final review. Okay, final review of all these things. You can click on it and create a rule. So as soon as you created the rule, right, this should be mapped to your Lambda function automatically. Okay, so this is one type of trigger. Now, if you go, if you refresh this page, you should be able to see the trigger must be get updated in a few seconds. Okay, the event-based trigger has been updated. If you wanted to see more information, just click on it. Here, you should be able to see whatever date when it's gonna trigger. All those things, right? It to update it. So right now, what I'm trying to explain is this EC2, right? It uses the Lambda schedule. So weekend, Saturday and Sunday, right? If any services you are not using this Lambda function, you can stop, and Monday you can start it. Okay, you can create one more Lambda function, cron with Monday, 8 a.m. So it will be get it stopped and stopped. So you need to write a script. Okay, you need to write a script. Writing a script will take separate time for us. Okay, this half an hour, 1 hour will not enough. I'll take dedicated project for writing a script. For now, I'll share you the script for all the use cases. And if you go to the configuration, since someone asked about the permissions, right? If you go to the configuration, if you click on permission, this is my Lambda role I created in IAM. If you go to IAM service, you can create a Lambda role. There, we have assigned all administrator access. Currently, this is because I'm doing some demo purpose, right? So I've enabled administrator access to the role. Okay. So if you want to assign some other role with the limiting permission only to EC2 also, that also fine. Okay, but for now, I assigned Lambda admin as a role name. I assigned the full permission. Here you can go and edit it anytime. All right, after creation. Okay, this is about my first Lambda automation. This helps us to save cost by stop the server by weekend. So same way, right? This also almost a similar condition. Okay, it's a Lambda schedule based one only. Identify and delete the unused EBS volume. Okay, so what it will do, it will go into your account. It will check, is there any unused EBS volumes available with the state of available. It will first, it will take the snapshot backup in case owner come and ask for the data, right? We cannot say no. So it will take the backup, then it will be delete the EBS volume. Okay, so this will be a frequent activity in our environment and all. Every Friday, we used to trigger this Lambda function. This Lambda function will make sure to delete your specific, unattached EBS volumes. Okay, unattached EBS volumes. So almost these two automations are works in similar way. This third automation, right, will help you in terms of setting up the event-based trigger. Here, Lambda schedule-based one we have seen. This is event-based trigger. Event-based trigger means what is the difference between the previous one? Here we simply went ahead and we just scheduled with the cron, right? With the cron we scheduled it. But this is something not like that. Is something, any incident occur in your AWS account, right? Obviously, we'll have a log trigger in the cloud trial. So cloud trial will notify our Lambda. So this is the architecture diagram for that. I'll even show you practically how to set up this event-based trigger, because in interview, many people are asking, can you tell us one example, the event-based trigger you configured in your AWS infrastructure? Okay, the event-based trigger automation example is the one what you are seeing here. Okay, AWS Cloud Trial. Okay, you all know in AWS there is a service available called Cloud Trial. This service will capture all the event happening in the account. If someone creates a incident, someone even logs into AWS account, someone created the AWS volume, someone did that, someone done that, someone deleted it, someone modified it, whatever he did, all the transaction will be available in the Cloud Trial. Okay, so here I'm going to create in CloudWatch. There is an event available. So in the event, right, I'm going to create some event. What this event will do, it will always proactively monitor the Cloud Trial. Whenever any incident occur, right, it will trigger the Lambda function. Example, okay, if we go to the third Lambda automation, right, trigger automatic encryption. So basically in AWS, we all know all the resources must be encrypted. If you take EBS volume, if you take snapshots, if you take AMI, if you take RDS resources, S3 bucket, every data related services must be encrypted. That's the security standard. That is what even AWS is recommending. Correct? So this Lambda automation, how it's going to work is whenever anyone created EBS volume in your account, anyone created the snapshot in your account, AMI in your account, automatically this Lambda gets triggered. This Lambda will make sure that particular resources are encrypted or not. The particular resources are encrypted or not. So if it is not encrypted, it will forcefully do the encryption thing using some KMS key. This is what the purpose of this Lambda automation. Okay, so this is one of the important automation we are currently using in our environment, because we have some security audits from AWS. If they found any resources with this running without encryption, right, it will be a security breach. So for the security is a concern, whenever anyone create a EBS volume in my account, snapshot, AMI, if they forgot to encrypt it, right, what we'll do with the help of this automation, right, it automatically monitors any resources created in the account. Based on the event, it will go and check for the volume. If it is not encrypted, we are forcefully encrypted using this automation. Okay, for that case, right, event-based trigger, okay, gonna help. So I'll show you how practically how we can set up the event-based trigger for the Lambda. But all of you clear, right? The difference between a Lambda schedule-based action and event-based action. Theoretically clear, right? Anyone has any questions here? If someone having any basic question, right, there is some strategy. Sorry to ask some basic question. Can you tell me about what is this, what is that? Like that also you can ask, okay? Because many of them feeling shy, I believe. I don't know, like nobody asking question. Sorry, anyway. So
Sir, I have one question.
yeah.
So in a real-time environment, we can use in Lambda functions. So when we attend the interview, so actually I'm a new for AWS.
Okay.
So actually I'm working with Linux, Linux domain I'm working. I'm not aware AWS. So that's the reason I'm asking.
Okay.
So what kind of functionality we can use in real-time environment, this Lambda functions?
Definitely. So since you are new to AWS environment, you work on Linux-based background. If you take any AWS project, you cannot see a project without Lambda function as of today. If you go any AWS-based project, right, everyone using this Lambda.
Okay.
And they will be using many. I example, I have shown 5 examples. Followed by this 5 examples, they will use many more also. Okay, but these are the most standard one. Okay, and the important one. So if you go for an attending interview, people will ask you questions in various way. What kind of automations you implemented in your project? These 5 are the example. Interview can ask you. In Lambda, 2 type of trigger available. One is event-based trigger, another one is scheduler. What is the difference between these two? That is another question they may ask. Third question, right?
Even though that's interviewer asking a lot of questions, not only AWS, they will move again DevOps also. If you attend any interview, so multiple questions they are asking.
You
AWS,
are attending
DevOps, Gray, and
this
all this.
project-based training. This is the first session you are attending. You attended before.
Yes, sir. No, first session only, sir.
That is the problem for you. We have successfully completed 5 projects already. We have discussed many interview questions before in the previous session. Your first session right now.
Achha.
What are your question? Today,
Yeah,
our
yeah.
intention is to
Yes.
focus only Lambda. Okay, we have completed many other
Oh,
things. So every Saturday, we are focusing on one services, one project use cases we are planning.
sure,
Okay,
sir.
obviously,
I'll,
if you are attending interview, they
yeah,
will ask many questions only. If you clear all these questions, only then you can change your career. Okay, so we
yeah.
cannot explain all these things in one session, right? That is the reason we are going with one week, one services. This week we are targeted for Lambda.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Noted.
Yeah. All right. So
Sir, the Lambda does the Lambda support for the multi cloud structure?
no. Each and every cloud has different its own function. Since Sri Mishra, you are from my Azure batch, right? I know you. We still.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So for Azure, right, some other things we have something called, right, Azure functions. Okay, Azure function, the service name, and we do have some other automation, Azure automation. There are two different things are there. Using that, they will do it in other cloud.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So followed by right in the event-based trigger, I'll show you practically how we can set up the event. Before we going to the event, right? There are so many people are pinging me in chat. Is there any batch available or something like that? Even they have pinged me in WhatsApp after sharing the meeting link. For them, just information from high tech institution, right? We are starting AWS and DevOps course. Okay, every month we'll start new batch. Okay, it's not about you need to be part of this month. I know that you are busy right now. Later you may need to part of it, wants to join it, whatever. So what you just do, right? So the batch mode, right? Weekday, we are taking the AWS DevOps course. This October 1st week, we are planning to start one batch. The timing would be 6 to 7 p.m. IST. It will be English mode of training. 2.5 month approximately. 2.5 month to 3 month it will take approximately, I'm telling. So the fees, right? 15,000 for the AWS and DevOps, both the courses. Okay. Also, we have a free demo available. You can attend first 2 sessions and you can decide it. Installment is also possible. In the 15,000, you can pay it in installment. That also possible. The course links and all, it's there. I'll share you in the chat. Okay. If you're comfortable, you can be part of this batch. Otherwise, next month also another batch is starting. Whenever you are ready, maybe I'll share the Google form link in this video, description. So click on it. You can fill your data. Our team will get back to you. Whenever you're comfortable, you can be part of it. Okay. That's a simple information about our new batch start. So coming back to the event-based encryption, right? If you go to the same rule, okay, in the Lambda, maybe we can take this Lambda only as an example. I'll add one more event. So click on, create new rule. This is example for event-based trigger. Event-based trigger. Okay, example. If you go there, right? Last time we went with the schedule, but this time we are going with a rule with an event pattern. Okay, click on next. Okay, AWS event AWS pattern. So I'll go with all events. If you go with all event, right, any incident occur, right, that will trigger it. So I'll go with the AWS event. If you come down, right, sample event, right, it's available, but we can go with event enter by my own or event pattern events. If you go there, basically, so we have a option. Let me choose AWS event. Here I'll search like cloud trial. Okay, we are cloud trial. AWS API call. Yeah, cloud trial. Uh, click on it. So there are so many things occurred. So I don't want to see here. I'll select all event. Okay. If you come scroll down, here the place for you to choose your event. Okay, AWS service, which service you wanted to choose. As per my automation, whenever EBS volume gets created, okay, let's imagine like that. Select there and you need to search with EC2. AWS EC2. Okay. Event type. EBS. EBS volume notification. Okay. Specific event. Cloud trial. API call via cloud trial. Okay, and specific operation. What is the specific operation? So this operation must be like there should be some other event. I'll show you where to pick, but create EBS volume, something like that. So if you go there, this is the event pattern right now. So what this event will do in cloud trial, in AWS cloud trial service, okay, whenever there is a API called occur from cloud trial for create EBS volume, whenever someone created the EBS volume, right, this will trigger the Lambda. This will trigger the Lambda function like that, right? We have configured. So again, you can choose your Lambda functions. Okay, I know that the people like Dashno, he asked the question, right? So he is kind of person. It will be difficult for him to understand event Lambda because it's the first session for them. Okay, for them, what is the solution is you need to learn the AWS and DevOps properly from the beginning. Okay, simply because of the namesake, it's a free session every day, weekend we are conducting. Blindly, if you are attending this, right, this will not gonna help you. You should know the proper AWS and DevOps basics. After that, only you can understand all these projects. I know Ashwin kind of people, right? Already he completed the AWS DevOps training with us. So he's attending right now. He kind of people are looking to clear the interview. So these kind of people will be easy. But other people, right, I'm recommending to properly learn AWS and DevOps and come. If you don't know how to properly learn AWS and DevOps, attend our session, we'll guide you. Okay. That way we can move on. The Lambda function here, I can select my automation name. So next and next and create the role. So by doing like that, right? Yeah, we'll go there and we'll see. As of now, only one event available, right? If I refresh it, you should be able to see two. Okay, there are two in the bracket. You can see there's a two. When you click on it, you should be able to see the two triggers. Okay, this one you must be knowing event based trigger. So let me expand it. So this is the API call. So whenever this event occur in AWS, this will trigger this Lambda function. Okay, this is one of the important interview questions, guys. Okay, that is why we are giving explanation. So based on that event, right, this will trigger our Lambda. This will trigger our Lambda. The code will be getting applied. Okay. So the another fourth automation, IAM key rotation. In AWS, right, you may have access key and secret key. Access key and secret key not only for CLI authentication. If you have any DevOps tools, right, the access key, secret key might be configured as a user service account. For that, right, every 60 days once we need to reset it. So using IAM key rotation also, the access key, secret key recreation, with the new creation of keys also, we can automate it using Lambda function. And auto trigger AWS standard resource tagging. So if you go to any AWS resources, right, tagging is very much important. Tagging is very much important. Every resources, right, must have some project standard tags. So we'll have a auto tagging. So any resources created without a proper tag, using the Lambda function, right, we will create the tag. Okay. So this can be done, this automation can be done in two ways. Schedule based also you can do it. Otherwise, event based also you can do it. Okay. So this is what the flow diagram actually. Lambda function will get the permission from IAM role. This will apply the tag actually. Okay. Lambda will add the code. So cloud trial, this event will trigger the Lambda function actually. Okay. For getting the code right, mostly if you put ChatGPT, OpenAI, if you ask, can you give AWS Lambda Python Boto 3 code to play standard tags to my AWS resources. If you ask for the code, yeah, most of the codes, right, your ChatGPT itself can give you. Okay, look at this. Whatever the key standard tags you have, you can mention over here, and this is the code for you. You can simply copy and paste, and if you run it, it will give. If you're not expert in coding, right, this will be a right option for you. Just to copy this, go to your Lambda function, go to code. You can replace with existing code and what your ChatGPT is given. Here, if you come, this is a standard tag. It's going to apply environment, owner, and project. The Lambda handler. This is what it's going to happen. Okay. So this way, right, you can deploy your Lambda function. Okay. This is another way of applying your tags. All right. So this is the top 5 AWS Lambda automation being used in the live project, guys. Okay. If you go for an interview, hope this will be helpful to you. The expected question from this is, I already updated. The expected question from this project is, what are the major Lambda automation you have implemented in your current project? That is the question number 1. Second question, can you tell some of the automation which is event-based one you configured in your current project? That is the question number 2. Okay. And what are the serverless services available in AWS? These are the question we can expect from this project. So what are the recent activity you performed in your project? Okay, if you got any question like that, you can tell them. Recently, I got an opportunity to implement 2 Lambda automation in our environment. One is for auto tagging for the resources and encrypting the resources. I worked with the team to implement this Lambda. This is going to be a solution for that. Okay, so that's it, which I planned for today.